Hey, what's up, everybody? And your eyes and ears do not deceive you. We're
Yeah.
actually making a video. This is our first video in 2022, and it's freaking December 21st,
Got in
2022.
at the last week. You thought you were going to go all of 22 without seeing us? We got to go in right at the end.
Yeah, this is that procrastinator in us that we have to get these videos in the last minute of the year, pretty much. So it's
To
like
be fair, busy year. I went to Italy. I have college.
yeah.
I had a
So
job. Your sister got married. It's been it's been an eventful year.
yeah. That's why I always like to say, there's all these people that tell us to get lives and everything like that. Believe it or not, we do have lives because it kept us from doing videos. So it's like,
Yeah, trying to coordinate between the two of us has been awful.
yeah. But yeah, we're doing a video this year. We're probably going to be very rusty. That's why we picked like a fun one to do. So that way this
And
will
at
break
least
the
we're both
rust.
like familiar with the episode. Although you know all these episodes like by heart, I had to go back and do a refresher.
Yeah. So today we're doing a SpongeBob SquarePants video. By the way, Merry Christmas, because I'm going to post this on Christmas. You're probably expecting like a big us wearing Christmas hats and all this type of stuff. We forgot. We just wanted to get it done. So
Well, listen, I just came back from doing errands, and he was like, "Hey, we doing the video?" I'm like, "Oh fuck, I totally
yeah.
forgot."
And then his computer took like 40 minutes, I think.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
boot
get
up.
started. So um let's introduce ourselves. I'm Owen Finch and I'm here with
AJ Talent, and we are doing SpongeBob Christmas Who.
yeah.
This aired on, you said, December 27th, 2000.
Yeah, yeah,
And
December 7th, 2000. So you were like, we were talking about this off the air.
I was like
Uh,
2 months old when this episode aired.
and I did say there's a possibility that when this episode came out, you could have possibly seen it if I was like over your house at this time watching it. You could have seen this episode like, and
Yeah.
you had no clue what was going on because you were new to the
I
world
like
at this
you say
time.
if you were over there, like you come over to see your like new baby cousin, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's cool. No, I'm gonna go watch SpongeBob.
But there's a good chance that could have happened. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Um, This episode can also, by the way, be called Patchy the Pirate Presents the SpongeBob SquarePants Christmas Special. Um, this episode was, let me just make sure, because Wikipedia, I believe it was directed by Tom uh, Yatsumi, and it was written by Walt Dorn, Paul Tibbett, and Mr. Lawrence, and the storyboard was done by Chris Hedrick and Eric Wees. Was like the director of the storyboard. So we always said the release date, and this episode was pretty successful. It had 2.17 million viewers, and that's pretty good numbers for Nickelodeon because Nickelodeon doesn't really get a lot of ratings nowadays because of streaming and Paramount Plus and all that type of stuff. And
Well,
admittedly, most of the shows kind of suck nowadays. So
uh,
um,
um, you told me I didn't know this. This was the first 20-minute special of SpongeBob,
yeah, first double length episode.
and it's also
Um,
the first Christmas themed one, which makes sense why it was so popular.
Yeah, I think for a
Oh,
while, it was like one of the top rated like episodes of anything Nickelodeon related.
yeah, with
Obviously it's been kicked down the list because Nickelodeon's been on for so long, and there's
it's
been
been
so
like
many.
20 years.
Yeah, so, um,
Well,
but
what was I gonna say? Obviously at the time this wouldn't be a big deal, but this was the first appearance of Patchy the Pirate, who became a
mhm,
fan favorite, and I loved his like segments as a kid.
yeah, um, and basically if you got a Patchy episode, you knew that like he would basically be like sort of like the narrator. Basically, that's how the episode of like SpongeBob actually sets up is through his segments, pretty much, because that's kind of what happens here. Um,
Right.
but
Uh, and also as a kid, didn't realize he is Tom Kenny, aka the voice of SpongeBob. So that's a fun little thing to look back on as a kid, as an adult.
yeah, so going through, like we said, first ever double length episode, it made sense because this was the first Christmas themed episode. It's cool that this was the first double length episode. Um, they wouldn't do another one for like a whole nother season. I remember season 3 has like 3 of them, I believe. So, um, that just shows you the double length was successful. First patchy episode, which was a cool element to add to like the SpongeBob universe and everything like that. He's kind of outside the SpongeBob universe, if anything, but there's episodes. It's kind of
Right,
weird because
it's such a bizarre thing, you know. It's like just instead of starting off in the middle of a cartoony ocean, it's like let's go to this random guy's house.
yeah, but it's like it's also kind of questionable sometimes if it even is outside the SpongeBob universe because there's episodes that like Patchy the Pirate's in where I think SpongeBob's been in the episode and stuff
No,
like
I'm
that.
pretty, I'm
Like,
pretty sure this is like in universe because I remember in a future episode he like sends SpongeBob a letter, and the joke,
yeah.
huh? You know, I would read this, but we're underwater, so I can't.
So is SpongeBob like did you ever hear
Oh,
like the
SpongeBob a TV show in the SpongeBob world?
yeah? Because did you ever hear of the theory and like iCarly, basically the Dan Schneider theory that like Drake and Josh is like a that like what's it called is
Like a
like it's a
TV show?
yeah, it's a TV show, but it's like
I'm pretty sure it is because I remember.
but it's like a reality show though, because like Drake and Josh
Oh yeah.
characters, and like Drake and Josh characters like show up in like other Dan Schneider shows. So it's basically, is that the case going on here with like SpongeBob SquarePants? Where is it like a reality show?
Maybe.
I don't know, but it's because then we've seen episodes before where SpongeBob himself goes outside of like the SpongeBob universe. Like you probably know about it, but there's an episode like that aired a few years ago where like you probably heard it. It's like SpongeBob's birthday blowout, where like he takes like a tour like outside of Bikini Bottom, like out on the surface and everything like that. So
Actually, I didn't know about that. No.
yeah, so it's weird how that happens, but let's go over the actual episode itself. So yeah, it kicks off with Frenchie, the narrator, and basically he talks about how today's the Christmas episode of SpongeBob SquarePants, and it cuts to Patchy the Pirate, and then he
Oh, actually,
explains.
sorry, a little bit before that. I like how the theme song was like different. You know, like Christmas themed.
Oh yeah, it was Christmas themed. It was pretty much it was the same like SpongeBob song, except there was a bit high pitched, and instead of at the end saying SpongeBob SquarePants, it would just say it's the SpongeBob SquarePants Christmas special, pretty much. So
Yeah, yeah, and like I remember, you know, just like little things like the pirate dude at the beginning had like a little Christmas ornament on him.
yeah, I think like when SpongeBob like rides his boat and they show the graphics, it's like candy canes and stuff like that. So it's very Christmas themed and stuff. I think SpongeBob's house was decorated very like a Christmas themed and stuff. So that was cool. And then it cuts to Patchy the Pirate. I think they say that their house is like in Orlando or something because I think that's a reference to like Nickelodeon Studios is in that area. So
Right, I'm pretty sure.
but yeah, it shows, like you said, it just randomly shows his house and everything. Like, it's just pretty funny. They just go to this random guy's house.
Yeah, yeah, no, I do, and I do like he's like a pirate, but like he just lives in like a random house, like
Yeah.
like a completely normal house.
And he's Patchy the Pirate. And like I said, it is cool to think the way his character is that he's the biggest SpongeBob fan. He's like the president of the fan club, and that's funny. And that's even doubly funny to think of since this is the voice actor with SpongeBob, and he's the biggest SpongeBob fan club. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a hindsight thing as an adult. It's like, yeah, that's funny. His SpongeBob's voice actor is his own biggest fan.
And yeah, he talks basically to the audience. I remember there's a term for that. I believe it's sort of breaking the fourth wall. Where he talks to the audience, and he basically introduces himself. He introduces Party, which is his parents, and Party's like a legit puppet. Like he's got he flies around and he's got the strings on, showing that he's a puppet.
Very obviously like a puppet. Yeah.
And I like how, we're gonna talk about it, but they do something with this, like in this episode, that is pretty like it's pretty funny that they do something with it. So Patchy is getting ready for Christmas, and he shows all these memories that he has of the SpongeBob crew getting ready for Christmas. And basically the way that SpongeBob gets ready for Christmas is he decorates his house very nicely, and he has like a remote control when he pushes a button and it sets up like some Christmas decorations on like his chimney and stuff like that.
My joke here of the segment was Patrick's, where he's just like standing there with like one little
yeah.
And then when that falls, he falls, but like I like he doesn't like fall normally. He like it looked like the animator just like tipped him sideways. Like he does not like change at all.
I know, that was hilarious.
Face blank, mind empty. It's like
Yeah.
Although you know what, Patrick is me as an adult now decorating. It's like one little ornament. All right, we're good.
Yeah.
Although actually,
Or like
decorated quite a bit this year.
the way I relate sometimes is when that ornament falls, it's like you go through all that effort. Sometimes I go through all the effort to try to get that ornament to stay on, and then when it falls, I want to fall just like Patrick because I just feel like
all right, well, I'm done. I'm just gonna lay here.
Yeah, and then Patchy is making Christmas cookies for the children. I guess the children was whoever was watching the show because you hear like children talk later on because Patchy doesn't really explain to who he's making these Christmas cookies for. I guess it was for like the fans watching the show or whatever. Like I feel like I've seen this episode like over 200 times and I've never gotten any Christmas cookies from Patchy. I'm owed some Christmas cookies.
Yeah,
so
come on, Tom Kenny, send me my cookies. 20 years late.
Yeah, well, to be fair, there's a reason we didn't get our Christmas cookies. So Patty's trying to eat trying to lick the spoon, but Patchy doesn't want him having any of the Christmas cookies, any of the Christmas uncooked cookie dough, because then no one will get any cookies. So that explains why we didn't get any cookies. We'll get into that later. And then we hear 3 bells go off, and we don't really know what 3 bells means. The children in the since he's breaking the fourth wall, we actually hear the children respond. They say, "You know what 3 bells means?" And then they go, "Free ice cream." And then Patchy
like
laughs.
Oh no! I like how he gets really aggressive.
I know. There was a reason I don't think you heard those kids talk to him again after that.
Oh yeah, the kids never speak again. They shut.
They were probably because of how aggressive he got. I'd be scared to ever talk to him again. Also,
oh yeah,
it means we get it's time to open fan mail, and so if you write fan mail to SpongeBob, Patchy's just gonna open your fan mail. Like that's confidential. We're not even sending that to Patchy. We're sending that to SpongeBob, and he's just opening up a SpongeBob mail. Like what right does he have to do that? Like
I know, right? He's the president of the fan club.
I don't think we're writing it to the president of the fan club, though. It specifically said to SpongeBob, so
fair enough. Although to be fair, Patchy did say name redacted or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember at one point, by the way, I think it's at this point, there's a bit where because Patchy has an eye patch and everything like that, and I think it happens
like gives himself a black eye, so he just moves the eye patch.
I think it had already happened. I thought that was funny when that happened. So
funny. Yeah.
But yeah, he opens the letter. Well, no, at first Patchy's supposed to give him the letter. This is pretty funny, and he doesn't really give him the letter. He's holding it. So Patchy eventually just cuts off his the ropes the ropes that connect the puppet, and he falls. So that's why I do like that they kind of break the fourth wall, but they basically reference that he's not really a parent.
It's like a guy controlling him.
Yeah. And then Patchy reads the letter, and the fan asks, and like I said, they don't really say who the fan is or what his address is.
Yeah, I like how it dubs over Patchy's voice, and it's name redacted or something. I don't remember the exact wording.
And so this makes me question if this was a real if this was a real letter somebody wrote, because obviously I think they would if it wasn't, they would just make up an address, I think.
Well, no, I think that's the joke. I think it's they made it up, but they're still doing address I found.
But the kid asks if SpongeBob likes Christmas as much as he does, or she. We don't really know. We don't really know if it's a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
And Patchy tells us a story that they didn't always celebrate Christmas in Bikini Bottom, and I think Patchy the parent was meant to be like us, where he goes, they didn't, and Patchy's like, no, sir, they didn't, and he pulls Party, and the guy who controlling the puppet falls head first onto his floor. Patchy just keeps going too. Some guy probably broke his neck on the floor, and he just keeps rocking us. But I think that was a good way they broke the fourth wall by because I think this was like his actual like voice actor that like fell to the floor and like
Yeah, that
almost
guy
died.
committed to his job.
Yeah. Um. And hey, at least just be happy he didn't pull what Gibby's his stunt double did. You ever heard about that, right?
Just fall and like break all his ribs.
Yeah. So at least he didn't really break his neck. So.
Gibby dies. Oh god, that meme.
Yeah. But he tells us a story of he's um the first Christmas in Bikini Bottom, and he says that they didn't even celebrate Christmas and stuff. They didn't even know about Christmas. And before he tells the story, this is probably why we didn't get any Christmas cookies. It's all Party's fault because he ate all that uncooked cookie dough. Like,
oh yeah, and I remember he was like really fat after.
Yeah, and then like his body breaks and it's just his head that's on the puppet and everything like that. So. And Patchy's not even that mad. I think he's happy he doesn't have to give up his Christmas cookies now. Like I think he was. I don't even think he was gonna make us those Christmas cookies. I think he was just gonna have those cookies himself. So
exactly, he would have been fat. And
yeah,
exactly. None for the kids.
Good Patchy segments though. And he easily
first time. I'm glad this wasn't just like a one-off thing. You know.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if it was meant to be a one-off thing.
I feel like it.
But he just did so well, like in the role that like they just kept putting him back and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
I'm pretty sure it was like this is a one-off thing, and the writers were like, you know what, we should make this like a regular thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't watch Modern SpongeBob, but do they still bring Patchy in every now and again?
I've seen I mean obviously I don't know about Modern because you know that he was there during that SpongeBob birthday blowout in 2019, but I don't know if he's been on like since then.
That's fairly recent. That was only 3 years ago.
Yeah, but the thing is, they haven't really made any like newer SpongeBob episodes of the actual show SpongeBob because I assume you know, like I think Nickelodeon lost the rights to it. So
yeah, I remember it was like a whole thing. We'll go into more. We'll talk more about that like later. But anyway. Patchy segment was good. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was good to like show this is like different, as like a special. And then it cuts to Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob is going to visit Sandy to kick her ass.
Yeah. So this is
breaking and entering.
Yeah, I wonder because they never say this is meant to be. I think this is meant to be a pre. I mean, I know we say that it's tough to really go into detail like the time frame with SpongeBob, but I think this is meant to be a prequel from like other SpongeBob episodes because they do say like there was a time they didn't celebrate Christmas, but it seems
probably one of the first times. Well, I remember in like the early episodes, like we see SpongeBob get his job at the Krusty Krab, and Andy.
Yeah.
So just like this would be just like sometime after that.
Yeah. So.
This is really a timeline for SpongeBob.
I know. But but this is clearly like after the show has been a thing, but again, there's no real timeline for SpongeBob. But they're about to perform karate together, SpongeBob and Sandy, and Sandy's preparing to get ready for Christmas. She's setting up her Christmas tree. If only I could have the easy Christmas tree set up that Sandy has, where I could just have a tree in my backyard and just put Christmas lights on it and stuff
only
like
you were a squirrel that breathed underwater, or that lived underwater.
And, when Sandy lights a Christmas tree up, SpongeBob, because he doesn't really know what a Christmas tree is, thinks that there's been a fire. And he breaks into the Sandy's tree dome, which he was planning on doing anyways. And he throws a bucket of water. And good that there was no actual fire, because SpongeBob would have completely not even made it even close to the fire, because he just gets the water all over Sandy.
Right. So. But she's like, "What you doing?" And I think what she specifically says is like, "What in the Texas Alamo are you doing?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, that's another joke that I only get as an adult."
Mm-hmm.
And then she explains it's a Christmas tree. And then SpongeBob says the name of the episode, Christmas Who?
Yeah.
And then she explains to SpongeBob, and the narrator is talking over Sandy.
It's not the narrator, it's Patchy that's talking over her, actually. So.
Well, Patchy is the narrator.
Yeah.
And I like how Sandy's like doing a bunch of like exaggerated motions while it's what Christmas is. It's just a funny little visual joke.
Kind of sucks. This is the only time we really see Sandy like in the episode.
Yeah, she did not show up for the rest of the episode.
Like I feel like they could
later on when everyone hates SpongeBob for like Santa not showing up, you figured she'd also be there.
Yeah. I mean, obviously because they wanted it to be more about like Squidward and stuff, but that would have been cool if they did like an adventure like where Sandy questions like why Sandy didn't show up and all that type of stuff. Like, but then SpongeBob is explaining to Patrick, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs about Christmas and stuff like that. And obviously, it goes about how you expect. Patrick's just an idiot, but he still agrees with SpongeBob. Squidward's angry at the world, as we all are now. And
wow.
he doesn't really care about anything that SpongeBob's saying, mainly because he hates SpongeBob and everything like that. And I think Mr. Krabs is completely fine with it, just because he hears that there's a chance for him.
He literally says like, "Oh man, a letter to Santa is like a blank check."
Yeah, it really is, honestly. I
like the joke that Patrick like keeps ripping his paper, and then we see he's like putting the pen like in between his legs and like trying to write like
I know
down like a fucking animal.
I know, that's awesome. But it's revealed that they can write a letter to Santa, and obviously they're happy about it. Squidward doesn't obviously want to write a letter, which kind of plays into the episode later on. And
right, Squidward's like the Grinch basically in this situation.
Yeah. Which I'm glad that they don't they don't go over the top with it. Like they don't say it, because I thought they don't do a joke at the end or anything like that where they say Squidward's hot grew 3 sizes that day. I'm glad that it was like treated as if it was his own thing. Like it wasn't completely ripping off the Grinch. So,
and see, the thing is later on, like, okay, there's like one instance where Squidward's like going out of his way to like be an asshole about Christmas, but like for the whole song montage, he's just trying to like mind his own business.
Yeah.
And everyone else is like being like, "Oh my God, it's Christmas," and he's like, "I don't care, man."
Yeah. But anyhow, so so they all write their letters. SpongeBob makes this device, and it's really interesting to see like
SpongeBob makes it, like not Sandy or anything.
I know. It's really weird how this happens, because originally in the show, this thing about Sandy being a scientist, I think, was written in later on seasons, because I think they needed ideas and stuff like that. Because SpongeBob's really the one that makes all of these devices in the early SpongeBob episodes. I
guess they had really made her like the smart one.
Which kind of sucks, because I think, in hindsight, it's kind of ruined SpongeBob's character, because he became really dumb after Sandy became the scientist, if you think about it.
Well, he was already like dumb, but he was just like situationally dumb.
Yeah. But yeah, he makes this device that's going to shoot letters up to Santa Claus to the North Pole. Which really doesn't happen. It just goes above the water. So, like, no one really
just like Bob's there.
Yeah.
So polluting, basically.
Yeah. So, it goes through this thing where everybody asks for what it goes through a montage of all the people in town, what they've asked for Christmas. Mr. Krabs calls them demands, though, which I think is pretty fits Mr. Krabs really well. Yeah.
And I like how everyone's asking for like really like basic things. Like the old guy was like, "I want a glass of water," and one lady's like, "I want a new hairstyle."
Yeah, so maybe that's a lesson right there. Don't ask for like the most outlandish stuff. Just ask for basic stuff, because obviously don't make it this basic.
Well, okay. But this episode's kind of weird with its message. Honestly, we'll get into that later. But like, I think this episode's kind of weird on like who's good and who's bad in this situation.
Yeah. But yeah, Patrick asked for another paper because he ripped his paper again. Yeah. Mr. Krabs asked for a pony with saddlebags full of money. So,
I like how at first he's like, "I asked for a pony," and SpongeBob's like, "Really?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Full of money."
Yeah, makes sense.
My headcanon is that like the pony was Pearl's gift.
Yeah, yeah.
He was being a good dad, but he's also like, but also add money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I don't think Pearl was introduced yet, was she?
She was, but but yeah. So but yeah, but she was introduced. But yeah, that it would have been a nice twist that the pony was for Pearl and he gets the saddlebags full of money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, just I like it when Mr. Krabs is a good dad.
Yeah. And then everybody's getting all excited about Christmas, but Squidward comes up and he just basically wants everyone to stop wasting their time.
Yeah, and it's like the one time where he's like being a dick about it.
Yeah. And I like, though, that he uses all these big words, and SpongeBob just says, gee, maybe Santa will bring me a dictionary for Christmas so I can understand what you just said. Like, basically, SpongeBob just, like, no-sells it. Squidward's, like, being angry at him, which I thought was awesome. Like, That was hilarious. I like how Squidward just walked away all mad, but, like, him trying to be an asshole to SpongeBob had no effect on it. That was awesome. Like,
right, it's yeah.
So then we have, this is actually, I think, I guess it isn't our first song, but it's the first time you hear like the characters actually perform music in the song. Because we've heard songs before, like in that jellyfish episode where SpongeBob brings the jellyfish home. There was like music in there, but
Jellyfish Jam. But I think you said you were surprised by how long the song was. Like it takes up a surprising amount of like the runtime.
It takes up. I think the reason this episode is double length is because they needed to fit the patchy segments in, and this song takes up like it basically goes to like back to the patchy segment from this song. Like it does take up a good chunk of the runtime, which I love the song though, so I'm not gonna complain about it. But it's pretty cool because like this song's like a stuff that like I never really noticed this until I watched it again recently. It's like an actual conversation that like they would have had anyways if they had just talked normal in the SpongeBob episode, but they just do it in song because like some of the conversations is when they cut down like his Christmas tree, Squidward's like asks the question in song about why he cut his Christmas tree down, well his coral tree and stuff down anyways. Like it's pretty funny like when you watch it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I won't sing the song or anything. You can probably find it on YouTube. I think, in my opinion,
I'm not attempting to sing it.
This is probably like the best SpongeBob song like that they've ever done. Just because it's the first one, and I think it's the song that like gets played the most. I remember I had like a CD at one point it was a Christmas CD of all the shows that have done Christmas songs. So I think Jimmy Neutron had one because there's a song there. There's a Fairly Odd Parents one, from the first Fairly Odd Parents Christmas special.
Like it's like the best Christmas Nickelodeon song? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So there's other ones. Weirdly enough, Danny Phantom doesn't have like really a Christmas song actually. Which
no, it has a Christmas episode, but it's not really like a song episode.
Yeah. But
Jimmy doesn't either, I don't think.
Yeah, it does, but yeah, SpongeBob. I'll just kind of say everything that they do in the song, and then you can like give your thoughts on it. So they cut down Squidward's coral tree so they can make a Christmas tree out of it. And obviously, Squidward gets pissed about it and dumps garbage all over them.
Well, I think it's funny. He didn't have a coral tree until that song.
I know, yeah. And then they decorate their house with and they decorate Squidward's, and they show Squidward it, and he's obviously upset about it because they're decorating his house without his permission. So this one you can honestly see Squidward's perspective, because I don't think you shouldn't decorate someone's house if they don't want their house decorated.
Right. So. That's just like invasion of private property, dude.
There's at one point where Squidward's standing under the mistletoe, and I didn't really get this joke at the time when I saw this episode, and Squidward obviously takes off, and obviously the joke is obviously when you stand on the mistletoe, you have to kiss somebody. So Squidward, I don't, because the only ones that
later on in the episode with the patchy stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think, and thinking about it too, if Squidward was under that mistletoe, he would have had, the only people there were like SpongeBob and Patrick, so I don't blame him for wanting, because I don't think he wanted to kiss.
Anyway, kiss between the three of them.
Yeah. And when Squidward runs away, this is Plankton's only appearance in the whole episode. Plankton and Mr. Krabs. Plankton notices that people are acting like a lot more nicer than normal, which honestly, that's actually, I didn't really get that joke at the time, but that pretty much makes sense. Everyone around Christmas time, everyone acts nicer than they normally would, and then they just become. Yeah, and I like
how it's like they're like, oh yeah, we're friendly now, but Mr. Krabs gives him a fruitcake that he doesn't want.
I know.
So he's still being a jerk to him.
And the joke is too, I think Mr. Krabs, that was probably the cheapest gift Mr. Krabs could get without having really to spend any money too.
Oh yeah, because cheapskate. Yeah.
Mr. and Plankton just throws the fruitcake away,
Well,
and I love
fruitcakes in the trash.
Yeah, and I love how Miss SpongeBob and Patrick, it's even the lyric in the song, but they say even all the trash smells so sweetly. My thinking is Mr. Krabs tried to give everyone like fruitcakes, and they all just threw them away. So that's probably why the trash smells so nice, is because they're just throwing away all of Mr. Krabs' fruitcakes.
Yeah.
This is the first episode that Plankton like appears in, where he's not like a villain really. He doesn't really try to take over the world or anything like that.
He's never really tried to take over the world, just steal the Krabby Patty recipe.
Well, as we've seen with the movie, that leads to him. That leads to him taking over the world pretty much. So,
right. Although technically, doesn't the movie take place as the final episode, kind of?
It's supposed to be, but we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
But then everybody starts breaking into song. They talk. Patrick's gonna be the star on top of the Christmas tree because he's a starfish, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's an insult to all starfish out there, like his parents and stuff like that. But then again, he probably doesn't even know his parent. He doesn't even know his parents. We know that. So, but anyhow, they all start singing "This Christmas is the very first Christmas to me," and Mr. Krabs has like this high pitched voice anytime he breaks into solo. Like, it was awesome. Like,
yeah, I thought that was a funny joke.
And I love it when he breaks it when it cuts to Squidward. He goes and like sends in the high pitched voice, and that's when Squidward finally closes the curtain. Like, he could not take Mr. Krabs sitting in this high pitched voice. He could just not. Like I said, probably the best like song I think SpongeBob's ever done. They've done some really bad ones, but they also done some like really good ones. But this is probably my favorite one, just because it's so catchy and everything like that. So, and I just think it's funny when you watch the episode. It's like a normal conversation that like they all could have had anyways, like without the song.
They decided to make the song.
Yeah.
But they're all singing for hours.
Yeah.
But they all get really sick of singing eventually, and then they're like, "Hey, where's Santa?"
Yeah.
I think someone literally screams, "Hey, where's Santa?"
Yeah.
Like really aggressively.
Well, first, SpongeBob notices. So this part here, I think, was probably written before they all started standing around the Christmas tree and stuff, where SpongeBob notices that Squidward didn't write his letter yet, and even though SpongeBob, you could say, like, is invading Squidward's privacy, I like how there's one bit where he's playing the clarinet, and when SpongeBob interrupts him, we find out he really wasn't playing the clarinet. He was just doing it over like a recording of him playing the clarinet earlier, which I thought was funny. And then you could say this here is SpongeBob like going out of his way, but in a way, I think SpongeBob was trying to look out for Squidward because he wanted to make sure that he got a gift.
I think SpongeBob was being nice here. He was just like, Squidward was being a grump and he was trying to make him happy. Like, I don't think he was going too far for it, but I don't think he was like that.
Yeah, because there's this one bit where like SpongeBob's even trying to write the letter for him, and Squidward just keeps turning it down, but SpongeBob just takes it and like as if he wants to like change the wording of what he says and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
I think I also say that because I've seen
just like write something down and be done with it.
I know. I would have written like I want to be left alone for Christmas, because that would have at least been something. Like,
yeah.
I think why I say like SpongeBob's not being an because let's be honest, if this had taken place in like nowadays SpongeBob, like SpongeBob would have been so annoying about it, wouldn't have even left Squidward alone. They wouldn't have even like shown you like why SpongeBob's doing this. He would have just been doing it just for the sake of annoying Squidward. Like, that's honestly how nowadays SpongeBob is written and stuff like that. So, and then Squidward probably broke every kid's heart when he tells SpongeBob that he doesn't believe in Santa Claus. Like, I think every kid like cried when Squidward probably said that and stuff like that.
Which obviously he's wrong because Santa's 100% real.
Yeah. And then everyone's trying to encourage Squidward, and they're all about Squidward thinking, everyone's going to be up all night waiting for Santa, and I'm going to have a good night's sleep. And they're all just sitting, Santa's coming and keeping Squidward up. It's like, poor Squidward, man.
They're singing until morning, for hours.
Poor Squidward, man. Like, not only does he not want to be involved with this, he doesn't even get to sleep now because of it. It's like, and it's probably, no one's Squidward's like, it's probably a freaking Saturday. And yes, it's like the one day he doesn't even have to go to work, and he has to deal with this. So, but yeah, all the scenes happens that you said, and everyone just takes off angry at SpongeBob because they think
Patrick. Patrick's a real friend, a real homie, and
Yeah.
he sticks by and sings for hours more until they're both exhausted.
Yeah.
But even when Patrick takes off, he's not like angry. He's just like sad.
Yeah.
He's like never trust a genie, and he like walks off sad. So he's not even mad at SpongeBob. He's just sad Santa didn't come.
Yeah. And then a snowman even takes off, by the way. Even the snowman was disappointed in SpongeBob. And I think this is when Squidward is an asshole completely here. Cause
where he's like rubbing it in.
Yeah. Because he comes out and rubs it in pretty much. They even take like a Christmas photo and SpongeBob's all sad in the photo. And when I mentioned the joke that they make, we didn't get as kids, but we get now.
Oh, yeah. They show a picture of a donkey when Squidward's trying to say he's a big jerk to show he's trying to say he's a jackass.
Yeah. And then SpongeBob, figured that like Squidward wasn't gonna get a gift, so he made him a present just in case, and he still gives him the present and everything like that. But that just shows SpongeBob was even nice back then, because if someone had treated me like that, like I would have just kept the gift at that point. Like, so when Squidward opens the gift, at first he's thinking like it's gonna be like something like stupid that like only SpongeBob would like an old Krabby Patty, his favorite underpants. The way Squidward says his favorite underpants, freaking hilarious.
Yeah, it's like really big eyed and like does a weird impression.
Yeah, so he's still kind of acting like an asshole, even though he gave him a gift otherwise. You know what I mean? And then what he sees that it's like
he was starting to feel bad when SpongeBob walked off, but he's like, oh yeah, no, it's probably something stupid. But then when he opens it, he sees it's like a really like well made, handcrafted clarinet with his name on it.
Yeah,
and like Squidward like starts like sniffing it, like he puts his full fat nose on it.
I know. Did you ever hear, by the way, like what I think it's conspiracy theory of what Squidward's nose like really is, by the way?
No. There's a conspiracy theory for his fucking nose?
There is. All I'll say is his nose, they think his nose is really his dick. So
oh my god.
Yeah, that's
same nose as like Barnacle Boy. They make that joke in a later episode.
Yeah, so that doesn't even make sense. Like I said, I didn't say it was a good conspiracy theory, so
yeah.
But yeah, there's also a thing on the clarinet though where he presses a button.
Is SpongeBob's nose a nipple? Like
yeah, right. But yeah, there's a button on the clarinet that he presses, and a bunch of mini Squidwards come out and perform like some type of Christmas song.
It's like it was a Christmas song, yeah.
And this is when Squidward feels like he's been a big joke, and he actually starts to sympathize with SpongeBob. So what he does is when SpongeBob's taking down all the he's so depressed he doesn't even really take down the decorations.
He's just and he's just like slowly sliding it off.
Yeah.
Squidward decides to cheer SpongeBob up by dressing up as good old Saint Nick himself.
So I gotta ask the question. I know it's a cartoon, we can't really think about this.
Where'd he get the outfit?
Where did he get the outfit? And if he had this outfit, what did he have this outfit for if he didn't even know who Santa Claus even was?
Okay, I feel like because everyone was like so like Christmas like themed, someone else probably had the outfit.
So did you just break into someone's house and steal their outfit then? Like,
yes, I mean, that's the least weird thing about this.
Yeah. So he's pretending to be Santa Claus. At first, SpongeBob doesn't even hear him. So like, there'd be times doing this where Squidward would act like Squidward, but then he realizes he's supposed to be Santa, so he has to pretend to be Santa. It was pretty funny. And Squidward falls off the roof onto the floor. But he doesn't just fall onto the floor. He hits a bunch of stuff on his house on the way down. And
that's part of the episode. Squidward gets put through so much shit, and he really doesn't deserve it. Like he's trying so hard to be nice, and he's getting punished so bad.
It's like Squidward can't be nice. So, SpongeBob's so mesmerized about seeing Santa that like he can't even say his name and he faints. And I remember he tries to do it again, and Squidward just like, yeah, don't do that again. Like, so bluntly, it was so good. And then SpongeBob's trying to ask all these questions because he had heard the myth about Santa, like where his big round belly is. I thought Squidward had a pretty good answer for this, where like basically like that it messes up his body when he's underwater. That honestly makes sense. That could be a thing because
I mean, sense maybe ish.
It is logical though because there is that like I've been able to pick up people that are over my weight like underwater, so that you could that even though that lie is better than the lies he says. He gets asked where like his reindeer and stuff are, and he just says he loans them to the Easter Bunny. So
Yeah.
we know they celebrated Easter there then. So
yeah, that's so weird. Wait, so they know what Easter is, but not Christmas, which is really weird.
By
the way, so is there a Jesus in SpongeBob universe?
I guess so. So if there is a Jesus, then did they not know about his birthday then? So
well, they know Jesus died, but they didn't know he was born.
Yeah. Then I like how in SpongeBob's
actually we don't see it on screen, but SpongeBob's like a devout Catholic.
That'd be awesome. I like how when SpongeBob tries to ask like more questions, Squidward's just like, "Okay, I'm Santa.
Yeah.
Like that's honestly the best.
Like, all right, look, I'm being nice for once in my life. Don't ruin this.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Like if I know we're not even talking about that, but when Neo found out about Light being Kyo and stuff like that, he just when we were asking like, how did you know that was that guy just happened to me? He was like, okay, I just knew. Okay, I just knew.
Yeah,
like,
just shut up. It makes sense.
That's honestly like Squidward was the MVP for doing that. Like he's just like that should be how Squidward explains all TV logic. Like, okay, this is how it is. Just accept it.
Yeah. TV logic, show logic.
Yeah.
Shut up and accept it.
Yeah. SpongeBob thanks who he thinks is Santa for bringing Christmas to Bikini Bottom. It was a bringing Bikini Bottom to Christmas. I don't even know how you do that.
Yeah. Then they take Bikini Bottom and push it to the North Pole and push it somewhere else.
That ends up killing them anyways.
Yeah.
And then Squidward says that he didn't bring Christmas to Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob did, and this causes SpongeBob to faint, and Gary just rides away with him. Gary moved faster, by the way, than your computer did starting up. Let's just
bro, he was like, oh man, my computer's like a snail, and it's like, nope, Gary's got it beat.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like how Squidward's like, okay, well, job done. And then some other townspeople see Squidward as Santa, and they want their gifts.
Yeah. So Squidward gives, well, at first it's just a little girl, and I don't think Squidward was going to give her a gift, but then when SpongeBob shows back up again, he realized he kind of, like, basically, I think they did that just to kind of get the fact that, like, Squidward's basically doing this for SpongeBob. And I like the gift that Squidward gives a little girl. It's like a cartoon size, like, wrench, pretty much. And I love how Squidward didn't know what little girls like, and it's all stuff that like little girls either wouldn't like or shouldn't have. And I like how one of the gifts he thinks that they're gonna like is like the copy of his birth certificate. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, so Squidward's giving all these other people gifts. He gives the woman that asked for a new hairstyle like a bowl of mashed potatoes, and that's gonna be like her new hairstyle now. So she's gonna have mashed potatoes in her hair for like the rest of her life now.
And just the episode where I'm like, what's the moral here? Because I feel like all the townspeople were kind of really shallow, and like just wanted gifts.
Yeah.
And then they get rewarded in the end, and Squidward's like a nice guy and gives away all of his shit. And like,
yeah, I know. Yeah. One of the people Squidward gives one of the people forks, and that's gonna be she uses that as a front teeth because she had like no front teeth.
Oh yeah. A little girl earlier in the episode was like, "I want my front teeth as a gift," and then she just. By the way, like the like imagining like shoving forks into your gums, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was like, ugh, no.
The funniest one probably is he gives Patrick a watch. And a lot of these gifts, like Squidward was even though they were doing stupid stuff, Squidward kind of like no sold it pretty much because it was like whatever.
Patrick,
Like
I don't know what you want here. Hopefully you like it.
Yeah, but I like when he
Well,
gives
like you said, it makes sense that because he's only doing it for SpongeBob, you know.
Yeah, but he gives Patrick this watch, and Patrick thinks it's a wristwatch and punches a hole right through the clock, breaking it. And this is when Scuba just gets a mad look on his face when Patrick breaks this like clock with him like that. Like
it was like that's. I imagine it's like a gift from like his dad or something.
Yeah, or like a clock like his great grandfather gave him or something like that. Like,
Dick.
And then at one point you see like this. The last gift I think is like someone gives Scuba gives the guy like his couch. And Scuba even says to himself like, "What the hell was I thinking here? Like I gave away all my stuff just so SpongeBob wouldn't be sad."
And I like how later SpongeBob's like, "Hey Squidward, did you see Santa is real?"
Yeah, and then Squidward just turns to SpongeBob around and has him leave, and then Squidward gets a
like even at the end, like he's like, "What the hell? Why did I do this for SpongeBob?"
Yeah, and then I mean it goes into that thing where we can have a conversation. Squidward truly does care about SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are probably like, will SpongeBob end someday? Probably not. But if it does get a finale, I think that's
kind of already ended.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think it'll get more episodes?
They did order more episodes. Nick got the rights back to it, so. But if SpongeBob was going to get to a proper finale, the last scene probably should be Squidward admitted that he truly does care about SpongeBob, because that would honestly be like the most satisfying finale for me, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I hope it gets any finale because I know Fairly Odd Parents didn't.
Yeah, and like Fairly Odd Parents deserved a finale, so. Even though it went shit completely, but it deserves some type of a finale.
But again, I feel like with like Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob, like what their movies like work as a finale, just like use that.
But but Fairly Odd Parents really didn't like it. It definitely didn't get a finale though, just because even the movies that they do make, like the big, honestly, if you want to say the finale could be the Channel Chasers episode for Fairly Odd Parents, but they kind of ruined. Yeah, but they even ruined that because they kept making the show and everything like that. So
that's what I'm saying. Like SpongeBob, they kept making the show way after the movie, but you can still say the movie is like the last episode.
I just wanted to get like I wanted to at least have because the thing about Fairly Odd Parents, I know we're way off topic here, but we're just going to talk about it here. I think why we say it deserved a finale is because it was on for so long. It got canceled randomly. And the thing I feel the most bad about Fairly Odd Parents is that I don't really think anyone's ever going to think it is a good show because it sucked so much towards the end of the show. And they really have ruined that show.
And the thing is, it's like it's an episodic thing. Like it's not like a show that like needs like a big thing.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's been been on air for like so long. Like it should be given something, you know?
Yeah. Like
Jimmy Neutron was very like episodic, didn't really have like a story. But it still got like that special League of Villains.
So yeah. Like I think I wouldn't be mad if SpongeBob just ended because Fairly Odd Parents like really went. It ended also on a bad note. I think that's why everyone's pissed. Fairly Odd Parents didn't get to go out on a good note.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, give it a chance to like shine a little bit.
Yeah, because at least SpongeBob. If SpongeBob ended today, I'd be satisfied because even though the latest seasons aren't as good, at least it got better. Like later on when the original like creator came back and stuff like that, so at least SpongeBob got to like get better again. Fairly Odd Parents, basically ended.
Burned and kept burning.
Yeah, and it's still burning because they brought back that crappy. I mean, I've shown you the trailer for it. They brought.
Oh yeah, you showed me the trailer of it. Yeah.
They brought back that crappy live action series that I still hope doesn't get a season 2. I check every day to make sure it doesn't get a season 2. But anyhow, so the end, and so yeah, Squidward gets a letter from Santa thanking him for basically helping him out, which is like, so where were you, Santa? Why didn't you show up? Like, I don't understand. And why haven't you showed up other years? So, Because he clearly knows about Bikini Bottom because he even tells Squidward he's
Right,
been
and
a
again,
very
it's well, not even that. Even if this was like the first year, like he just lets Squidward make himself homeless, essentially.
yeah, pretty much. Then you see like Santa, and when you see Santa, he's basically like a live action version. It's not like a cartoon version or anything like that.
Mm.
And he's being very Santa's being very weird here. I remember he's like there's at one point where he's just tilting his head around and all that type of stuff, and he nearly forgets to like hold on to the reindeer and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Santa
and
got all drunk the night before.
yeah. And I like how Squidward even just says, "Yep, I'm insane" when he sees Santa. Like he's like, "Yeah, I'm insane." So think about it. Squidward's the only one that's gonna truly know that there was a Santa Claus. Well, because even Sandy, I don't even think no. Like Squidward saw freaking Santa, and he's not even gonna tell. I think that's why Santa revealed himself to Squidward. He knows Squidward's not gonna say anything about it too, because he just doesn't
Well, I
care.
think like, Squidward was the last one who like didn't, because everyone believes in Santa because Squidward dressed up as him.
Yeah.
So Squidward was the only one left who didn't believe. So I guess that's.
And then it cuts back to Patchy, and Patchy doesn't like realize that like the show's like the show's back on. So this is really when they break the fourth wall. He's just messing around and doing like an episode of SpongeBob where they go to Christmas Island, which I wish they just make an actual episode. Is that would have been cool?
Again, the whole Tom Kenny thing. I like how like he's like his SpongeBob voice sounds different. Like it's weird. Like because looking back, he's the voice of SpongeBob, but like he's doing an impression of his own voice, like when he's like playing with his action figure.
It's actually like funny thing is it's not really that good of an impression of his own impression too. Like it's not even that good. Like
yeah, so it's just funny like hearing how it's like yeah, it's like close, but like also different. Like it's kind of crazy how he did that.
Yeah, but then like the sound guy or something has to tell Patchy that basically like it's time like the show's back on and everything like that.
Oh, wow, I like for Christmas Island, it's just like the island from like the theme song.
Yeah, with a bunch of presents around it and stuff.
Yeah.
And Patchy just gives like this big Christmas like message saying that you got because obviously I think they tried to make it seem like Patchy had to come up with something quick, so he basically just like was like, oh yeah, okay. He had to BS the whole like his whole speech at the end and everything like that. So I thought that was funny. And then we see that Party's in because Patrick was wearing like the boat of like SpongeBob and Patrick and everything on his head, and Patrick lays an egg in Patchy's head, and it's like supposed to be like a Christmas ornament and stuff like that. And then Patrick tries to get someone to kiss him under the mistletoe.
Patchy comes in and tries to kiss him, and they just start chasing him around.
Yeah. So.
And then it pans out to the house, and episode ends. That's the end of SpongeBob's first special and Christmas episode.
Yeah. I really like this episode. I guess one critique I can give it that you said is it really doesn't have like a clear message like in the episode. It's
very weird, like mixed messages, I think.
Yeah, they didn't really have like a defined message. So,
yeah,
but if I was to give,
I like it. It's not like super original. It's like the grumpy guy learns the true meaning of Christmas, I guess.
Yeah, because I like that. I mean, it's episodic anyways, but I like that at the end. Like, even though Squidward's the grumpy guy, he doesn't change just because like he found Christmas and everything like that. Like,
right, like he was a little nicer, but at the end he was like, I can't believe I was so nice.
Yeah, so I do like that he doesn't have a complete change at the end. Yeah, so if I had to give this episode a grade, I'd probably give it like an A. I think it's like one of the strongest SpongeBob episodes.
Yeah, like A- B+. I'd say it's definitely like one of the best SpongeBob episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's talk real quick. So how long did I say this video was gonna be when we did it?
Like half hour.
It's 54 minutes.
54 minutes? Wow.
To be fair, we did BS talking about like a lot of stuff towards the end.
Yeah, ramble. Yeah.
That's why it's good we do SpongeBob reviews. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We promised this
one video of 2022. Tune in for 2023. Maybe we'll get 2 videos done.
No, I promise though we'll do like 100 videos next year. So we're gonna try to do as many videos as we can next year. We've been slacking this past year.
Yeah.
We at least want to do like
I'll be graduating college in 2023, hopefully.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
So we at least want to get like a few videos done next year. But we'll talk about that. Like you'll see the videos as they come and stuff like that. But thank you guys for watching. Do you have anything you want to plug or promote, AJ?
I want to upload on my own channel, but I haven't yet. So if I finally do, I'll plug it. But for now, you can find me here.
Yeah, just check out this stuff. We're gonna try to definitely do some more videos this year. I know we don't have a lot of time to do more. Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.